I like Drax the most because he's so literal. He doesn't understand like sarcasm or metaphors or like analogies. Like he's just saying stuff point blank. It's like explaining to something to him is like explaining stuff to a kid.
You must be so embarrassed.
And I like that it's like people who have autism, they interact socially in a different way because the world isn't used to people not complying with social norms. So you give them a label. If we gave Drax maybe it's not autism, a different label, you have to adjust how you speak with him, and because he's dangerous, you want to be a bit careful of how you speak to him, innit? I find that really interesting. Like, if he wasn't dangerous, I don't think people would give a shit if he understood stuff or not. They'd be like, yeah, well, shut up, innit, whatever. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and I think there's something really interesting in his character as well, because like his role in the whole thing is like his wife and daughter, I think, got killed at the hands of one of Thanos's whoever, people that come and slaughtered loads of people. And I think there's a real interesting like underlying story there around like dealing with grief, and like the way that he kind of deals with the grief is like through his own humor. Like he's always like finding the funny in situations, and he's always like laughing about stuff, and it's like there's an anger there of like his whole thing is like the reason he's part of the Guardians is there's like retribution of like I want to you know fuck these people up who took my family from me, and he's like finding his way through it through humor. And I think there's just like it's a really interesting thing how like we can go through something very deep and hurtful, yet we can still live a life that can look like it's quite light and breezy and fun, and like the two worlds can coexist. And I think we get caught in this narrative of like it's one or the other. Like you're either in the depths of despair and anger or grief, and that's it, or you're like happy and you're finding the fun in situations and you know content for want of a better word. But actually like the two things, like I've seen it, they can work hand in hand. To see that, it changes the possibility of what we can experience in any moment. I can be sad and I can have fun and be happy at the same time.
I can feel sad, but I can be having fun.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this story. This guy was running an event. I don't want to say who it was. And someone in the crowd was like, well, if I think I understand what you're saying, then, you know, I can just forget about my dead wife and, you know, her life means nothing. And then the guy who's running the event goes, hey, just so you know, you can be happy and that not be a disservice to your wife's memory. And the guy starts crying, yeah. And he's like, you know, the misunderstanding sometimes with grief is that it has to be heavy.
Yeah.
But I think the grief can give you a lightness with living. Because you got appreciation. Everything's temporary, Hef. You know, like anything we do. And Simba, yeah, my dog, he's 8 years old this year. Ooh. And he's a golden retriever. They don't get to 15 generally. So he's well over halfway through.
Middle-aged now.
Probably more than that. Probably like getting to middle to old age. You know, it's I was saying it to my mom the other day, like, he's not going to be around later on. And yet knowing that, we enjoy him now and it's great. And later on, like when he's not around, we'll still have fun with his memory, innit? Oh, do you remember he used to do this? Do you remember how, you know, like, it's got a very distinct attitude. It's really funny.
Yeah.
That I like that a lot. It doesn't have to be heavy.
Yeah. And I think it is that it's like the heaviness is created, so is the lightness. And it can be both. You can choose one or the other, and it can be both. And I think that and is very important in there, because a lot of people is like, oh, I'm sad, so I can't be this other thing. It's like, actually, what if it could be both? What if there could be a lightness that comes with the heaviness? What if there's, you know, something that can be created from that? And I think that for me, like that's what I see in Drax, and that's why I love him as well. He's like, he's just got this like humor. I don't think he's even trying to be funny most of the time, but he's got humor, and he sees the humor in situations, even though he's like intensely going through something internally. Like his whole mission is like, I want to get revenge, yet he's like still having fun with it. He's not just like I'm on the mission and that's it. I can't be having fun right now because I need to avenge my, you know, family or whatever.